Well, this is an absolute time capsule of carp fishing memories for me. There's some relevance as to why I dug this box of photos out specifically. I've got lots of boxes of photos upstairs in the office and in the attic. And yeah, if I open the lid, it says Welford 1990s and actually Lynch Hill early 2000s. And the relevance is that I'm actually going up to Welford to do a social nights fishing with a friend of mine, Ollie, who's part of the fishery management team. And yeah, do you know what? I haven't been there for such a long time. You know, some of these photos in here are, well, you know, 25 years old. It's always nice, isn't it, to sit there and reminisce over time's gone by. Welford is somewhere that I have very, very fond memories of. It was the first venue really that I sort of learnt my carp fishing apprenticeship on. When my dad dropped me off there, it was, you know, gin clear, weedy, sort of things I hadn't ever come across before. And it really was for me sort of sink or swim. Fortunately for me at the time, the fishery was run by Jerry and Roz, and Jerry took me under his wing. And he taught me the importance of things like watercraft, fish safety, fish welfare, good bait application, the art of stalking. Having a mentor like Jerry really, really did put me in good stead for later years. You know, sadly Jerry passed away in recent times, and his wife Roz actually sold the site to Steve, who already owned Bramblemere across the road. And you know what? Him and his fishery management team have done great things. I hear great things about Welford. You know, Steve's fenced it, it's very secure. You got some great carp in there again, scaly carp, you know, within keeping of what Welford was always about, and it's an open access day ticket fishery. So yeah, I'm hearing great things, and there's fish in there to well over £30 now. So I'm really looking forward to going back. It's going to be pretty nostalgic for me, and I'm sure these memories will come flooding back. You know, I only got to look through this box of photos, and they make me chuckle actually, because I've got some crazy hairstyles. But most entertaining is the bank fashion. I'm holding carp, look like I'm just about to do sports day at school. You know, wow, how things have changed, you know. But it always makes me chuckle, and I love looking through these boxes of photos. Me and my friends spent so many happy years up at Welford, so I'm really looking forward to getting back up there and having another look. But I've got a few things to chuck in the rucksack. And then, you know, the sun's out now, but we've had some terrible weather. I'm not holding much hope out for what it's going to be like when I actually get there. But it's about an hour away, so I'm going to chuck this box back up in the loft, probably for another 10 years. I'll check back in with you shortly. See you in a bit. Well, I've arrived. I've first driven over to Welford, which is just across the road. I sat in some of those swims and had a lovely walk round, and it was a really nostalgic walk for me. Looking back at all those photos in that box that we just seen, just to sit in some of those swims and reminisce about some of those fish that I've caught was, I don't know how 25 years has gone so fast, but Steve, as I said, has done a great job, and it's all fenced and it's looking lovely. And although a lot's happened in the last 25 years for me personally, as soon as I stepped foot on Welford, it really sort of felt exactly the same. Feels like I'd never been away. So I've given Ollie a call, and in fact he's actually fishing just over the road on Bramble, so I'm here now, and I'm actually going to just join in for a night. So that's the reason for that was the reason for the trip, just to catch up with Ollie, which would be nice. I'm just going to chuck these waterproof shoes on and go for a walk, see if I can find a couple. Well, it's just started to rain. I've done quite a few laps now, to be honest, and had a good look around, and yeah, I've seen nothing. I've had a look in the snags to see the majority of the sun, and under the snags they've got some lovely gravel ledges, and they're all still covered in sediment, so experience tells me that the fish aren't using those yet, because once the sediment gets dusted off, you know that the fish are visiting those marginal areas, but that's still very much covered in sediment, so I'm going to rule that out. I don't think they're over there. This just feels a little bit warmer than the rest of the lake. As I say, it's sort of on the back of the wind, and I don't know, I just got a bit of a gut feel. Ollie's not too far away, just round the corner, and he says this is quite a deep area here for the lake. The lake's, you know, relatively shallow, so this is going to be my starting point. Typical, just started to rain, but I'm going to go and grab the kit and get back as soon as I can, because I want to get that house up, so I'll see you in a minute. Oh, right. Well, the house is up. Just put the last peg in, and night's drawn into a close pretty quickly, as it does this time of year.
I found a couple of spots. I've actually found a really nice weed bed out here. Led it around, not too much, you know, don't want to scare anything off that might be here already, but I found a little sort of horseshoe shaped weed bed. And I know from past experience at this time of the year, if the fish are going to be anywhere, they're going to be tucked up tight to the weed bed. You catch fish in the winter and they've got loads of little leeches on them, so you often know that they're obviously sat up in the weeds somewhere, and yeah, it's almost like a nice warm weedy blanket for the winter. So fortunately, I found a lovely little silt patch just on the left of this weed. It's only, what was it, 40 yards, and that's where the left hand rod's going, and then the right hand rod's just going to go just to the right of that, and then this one is going to go the other side of the weed bed, but slightly longer, just off the back of it. So I've kind of got all the patrol routes covered for this evening. You know, it's potluck. I haven't seen anything as yet, so yeah, that's my plan. That's my plan of attack. And tactics wise, I've got little tiny, I say tiny, 12mm pineapple hell yellow pop-ups. So that's that on my favourite big hook rig, sort of a spinner style rig. And what I've done is I've crumbed up loads and loads and loads of our soon to be released CreAmino, and it smells delicious. So the CreAmino's actually got fresh cooked hemp in it as well, so there's a little crunch factor, and you know, carp absolutely love that. So I've got a little bag of that, and what I've also put in the CreAmino crumb, because this time of year, you know, I don't think you can beat crumb. They're not looking for a massive feed, and in fact you just tighten them into a mouthful, especially if they've been asleep for a while in that lovely weedy blanket. So I've got I'm going to go light. I'm not going to put any bait out. I'm just going to go hook bags, and I've put plenty of our green lip mussel powder laced in with this crumb, so it should be highly attractive. So I'm just going to hook this little golf ball size bag on. Just nick it in, really. You know, I don't want to make sure there's no residue on the hook. Just like that. Oh, super sharp. Attach it to the to my sort of favoured lead clip style. It's all clipped up, ready to go, and yeah, let's get it out there and see what tonight brings. I want to get these rods out because what I want to do, and Ollie's invited me round. He's literally just the next swim down. We're going to make a lovely fire. So it's meant to be cold tonight, so I'm going to make that fire with some dry wood that's round the corner there. And yeah, and we're sure Boilie owl away and a good old carpy chat. Right, let's get this out. Well, good morning. I've just popped the kettle on, which, as you can tell by the, you know, my breath, is a cold one this morning. And yeah, it's a bit of a false sense of security sat round by that fire last night. We made a lovely fire, crackling away, and I think I had to pull myself away by about 12 o'clock. It was roaring, it was bloody lovely sat there. But as I sort of walked round the corner back to my area, I could tell it was cold, you know. Sat next to that fire, you don't realise how cold it is, and my bivvy when I got back was slightly frosty. So I cut back here about maybe 12, half past 12, and I just sat up for half an hour. The lake had gone nice and flat calm, and I seen one roll on my left hand rod, and that was the rod fished as tight as I possibly can to the weed, you know, on a nice little silt patch on the side. And there wasn't much else in this swim apart from that weed bed, and I was sure that if there was a few carp around, that might have been the magnet. They might have just been holding up in there, especially because it's, you know, it's still the back end of winter, and the kettle's boiling. They love a weed bed in the winter. So yeah, I drifted off quite confident, to be honest. And then at 4 o'clock, or was it about half 4 actually, the left hand rod's absolutely whizzed off. I was at the bag, you know, it didn't fight much, to be honest. but it was just a slow plod on the way in, and then he went a bit crazy under the rod tip, and I've got a nice fully scaled in the sling. Real nice dark fish, you know, one of those fish that Bramble Mere is renowned for. So it's nice to get one, isn't it? It's nice to get one on a trip like this. Don't know much about the lake, but I'm going to enjoy this cup of coffee, and then I'm going to go and wake Ollie up. I'm sure he's already awake, to be honest. And yeah, I'll get it out and show you. But it's a cracking carp, but I need a cup of coffee. It's still early, and I needed a cup of coffee to kick-start the engine. So yeah, I'll just drink this, and I'll go and get him. Right, let's go and wake Ollie up. I know he's had a few busy days at work, and I haven't seen him up yet, so that's I'm sure that's going to be his excuse. I reckon he's still kicking out the Zeds. I mean, it's still early, but I need him to do some photos for me because I need to get on the road. I'm going to creep on round now, and I suspect he's still going to be fast asleep like a little baby. You worry about that, and some camera duties to do if you're up for it. If I can remember rightly, last night when it was dark, he's a lovely fully scaled on one side and quite an unusual scale pattern on the other. He's got like a patch of missing scales, but you know, Bramble's famous for these lovely dark scaly Cotswold carp, and I think this one's going to be no different. I'm not going to weigh him, but he's in cracking condition. Lovely, lovely dark black tail, and yeah, cold water Cotswold carp, and a great way to start the morning. It's quite interesting actually, he's covered in leeches, so when I'm fishing up against that weed bed, he's probably been resting up there for the last week or so, because he hasn't gone far, because there's loads of leeches on him. What a lovely carp. I'll show you the other side. The other side, you'll see what I mean. Ollie, can I have a bit of that water? You'll see what I mean. He's got a lovely sort of mismatched patch of scales. Thanks, mate. So on this side, really, really unusual. Really unusual. You don't see that very often, where you've got like a melted patch of scales here. So there he is. What a lovely carp. Thank you very much. I'm cold. I'm going to be packing up soon, but great way to start the morning. Let's get you back, because my hands are freezing. Whew. You've made me a happy angler this morning. Just one last look before we put him back, because definitely deserves that. He's an absolute cracker. Look at that. Lovely. Let's get you back. Here we go. Time's ticking on, but to celebrate, I've rustled it up a nice sausage sandwich. Now, just to put the record straight, I did offer Ollie some raspberries and some porridge, but he looked at me like I swore at him and he's declined. So he's led me down a dirty path of a perfect carp angler's breakfast, but you know, it didn't take much persuading. It's the deluxe version. Yeah, don't use it. Oh my god. Gosh. Where have you been all your life?
I thought it was one of their bottles. You're there fucking ages trying to get it out.
Bloody hell. Enjoy that, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Get that down your Gregory Peck. Ah, yes.
Good tomato sauce.
What are you saying?
Mm.
Good breakfast?
Mm.
Loving a
Wow.
chipolata?
We've done very well.
Yeah. Don't talk with your mouth full, please.
Apologies.
Well, I'm back at the car, as you can probably tell. Wow, after that walk, after that sausage sandwich, was hard work. I'm not going to lie. I'll blame Ollie for that. I should have had the berries. But yeah, I'm back it was a really enjoyable session. But as I packed all the camera equipment away because of the rain, I had another take, ironically, just as I was packing stuff into the rucksack. So I had another lovely cracking example of a Bramblemere Cotswold carp, real nice dark one, big plated scales, real nice fish, not huge, not a bit smaller than the first one to be honest, but a real nice way to end my session here in the Cotswolds, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, those 25 years have gone very, very quickly, but still enjoyed it, still as passionate as ever, and yeah, I must come back next year again just to see Ollie, even if it's just to sit around that fire and chew the fat. But I look forward to the next time, but for now I must be getting old. I want to get him and have a nice warm bath, so I'll see you soon.